Okay, I'm back, everyone. If you haven't watched part one, please go back and watch part one, plus the video before that on the 10 item survival kit that I've been carrying with me in a small pouch. One of my water sources just completely went bone dry. There's not a sign that there's even been water here. So this canyon's starting to open up now. It's starting to get drier. I still got my bandana good and wet. I said it doesn't look it because I'm in the shade of the canyon. I've got tall trees all around me. There's this big old fir tree right over my head, for example. But it's definitely warming up. So I'm keeping this cool. There is still the little spring over here on the right is still running, so I've still got a water source to refill my water bottle or a water bag that I've been carrying on my belt. And we're going to pause here for a few minutes. I need to hydrate a little bit and have a little snack. I brought that food bar I told you about. I've been chewing the pine needles off and on. But I could use a little burst of extra energy right now. My bag's still about half full. We'll refill it over here if I need to. Just using my Hydro Blue 3-stage sidekick straw. To hydrate right from the bag. Nice. You're looking for water out here. In a drought, your best source, or your best chance, I should say, is to do like what I did. Find a canyon, start following it downhill. If you see shady areas with lots of green vegetation, there's a chance that there's water there, or you might be able to dig a little bit and get some. I've got that food bar I told you guys about, 400 calories, over 50 grams of carbohydrates for energy. And I just want a little burst of energy and something to take the edge off. I've been waiting also till I had water. If I wouldn't have had water till I got to the bottom of the canyon, which I thought I wouldn't, I would have waited on this because it tastes kind of like a lemon cookie bar, but it's dry and powdery, and then I would be really, really thirsty. Thankfully, I got the water to wash this down. So what I'm going to do, there's kind of a trail along the side of the hill up here, and I'm going to leave this area where the water source is, but I'm going to be traveling above it so that if I use up the rest of my drinking water, or I need to cool down and get back down here in the shade and stuff, I can drop back down to the water. But I can see on the side of that hill it's a lot more open, and I'm going to be able to travel faster because I've been climbing over fallen logs all day for hours. So I'm going to go up here and get some easy traveling. So I'm going to sit here and finish this snack. I'm going to save half of it for later, do about half of it now, take another shot of water, and get up on the side of this hill. So my water source is down below me now, down there in the bottom. I've come up out of that canyon, guys, because it was just wearing me out. Down there I was having to constantly zigzag through the thickets and climb over fallen trees and fallen logs just continually. And like I said, it was just wearing me out. So I've come up here to what I thought was just a trail, but what I can see is that at one time, and here's proof right there. You can see how old that is, but that's been cut with a chainsaw. And these trees here growing up in the middle of what used to be an old logging road are probably at least 20 years old. So maybe 20, 25 years ago, they logged this area. And see the elk, there's an elk track there, have made a trail on this old logging road. So I'm gonna follow this for a little while as long as it parallels my stream, because I know the stream goes to the creek. Oh, look at that. See right in there where it's thick and green, there's water, and then when it comes out here in the opening, it's all dried up. And I can see down there, it's dry. So that is the end of my water source right there. That's the end of my water source. All right, guys, I'll pause here for a minute, maybe top off my water and continue on. Sorry, guys. I've been filming this whole time and I actually thought I had it on pause. So this in front of me is a really, really good sign. You see this? There's a mountain range above me running perpendicular to this canyon. That means we are almost to the place where this canyon, and thank goodness, because look how dry my water source is. I was running out. Oh, wow. There's a lot of vegetation in there, but that is just dry as can be. But I believe, yeah, here we go. We are at the very bottom of this canyon where it emerges with another canyon that will eventually take me to where my vehicle is. right here. So this is the one I followed down right here. Almost the full length of that canyon, I followed that stream bed. And that's what you want to do. If, you know, I said I've never been in this canyon before and I have no compass. But I know water flows downhill. And if you keep following the water downhill anywhere in the Ochiko Mountains, you will eventually come to a road. Because now I am at the main creek. We're about to. So right here, this is the main creek. And I know that this creek, if I follow it downstream, will eventually come to a paved road that leads to some ranches and eventually to Prineville. So now I have a decision to make. I know that there is a turnout, a little dirt road that comes up next to this stream where my vehicle's waiting. If I go the wrong direction, I'm still going to be walking out here for probably a couple more hours. Because if I go the wrong way and I travel, let's say probably an hour, and I haven't seen any sign of that dirt road or my vehicle, I'm going to know that I went the wrong way. And I'm going to have to turn around, cover that distance again, and then probably another hour to get to my vehicle. So I'm going on instinct, okay? The direction of travel, I believe, was not in a straight line going down, but I feel like as I was looking at the surroundings that I was also constantly going to the right. We'll say to the south, slightly to the south, maybe southeast, rather than to the northwest. So I'm 90% sure, pretty positive, because of my direction of travel, just knowing the sun and seeing where I was on the train, there's no way that I could be above my truck. If constantly moving to the right, my vehicle has to be upstream somewhere. So that's the decision I have to make at this point. Oh, I can get my scarf wet whenever I need it. Refill up my pouch whenever I need it. Stop and take a break. And still, again, if something happens where I can't make it out of here, I got my emergency blanket, build me a shelter, and settle in for the evening. So as I follow that stream bed up, there's places like right here where there's water, but I'm having to climb over fallen trees to get through here. So interestingly rough terrain. And I apologize, guys. I'm tired and I'm hot. I'm not thirsty. And my energy level's doing good. That energy bar worked. Plus the pine needles I've been chewing on. And I still got a few bites of that bar left. But I am hot, and my legs, I guess I should say, are weary from climbing over objects continually. So I know that there's been a few times that I've thought this was on pause and it was running, and then I thought it was running and it was on pause, and I apologize. So I keep coming to little pools. Let's see if there's any fish in this one. The fish get trapped in these pools. And I saw one in here earlier, in one of these pools. And you can get in there with a fishing spear. I could carve another spear out of this willow and get food if I need to. I couldn't take fighting that brush and them rocks, the logs down in that stream bed anymore. So I'm on the side of a hill following a game trail that parallels the stream below. The stream's down there. I'm just going to follow this trail for a while. Before I continue on, I want to show you guys this place I found. Now, I didn't know when I started this journey if I was going to make it out of here before dark or not. I had no idea. I've got someone who knows my route. They were going to check back on my vehicle this evening to find out if I made it down. But I had no idea if I was going to end up spending the night for sure or not. This spot right here, there's 3 big pine trees behind me. And I'll tell you what, look at this. There's pine needles and debris 3.5 feet thick at the base of those pine trees. So real quick and easy. I use my hands. I don't have gloves. Maybe I'll take my shirt off, put my shirt over my hands. I'll start scraping these pine needles out into a big pile right here. Take some branches and make a little frame. Let me show you here. Actually, I'll pause and I'll just do a little bit of it. So what I'm doing is I'm making what's called a bear bed up in there. Working up a good sweat while I'm doing it, but I'll just keep pulling big piles of pine needles off the ground. I've got 2 fallen logs, 2 little poles here to help hold them in place. And I'm going to make a bed of pine needles about 1.5 feet thick. This is a bear bed. I've got the tree behind me for some coverage. I've got a ton of overhead coverage from this big fir tree over my head. And take out my emergency space blanket. Water's 20 yards from me, so I've got water. I've still got part of an energy bar. I've got pine needles. And I'm on a main stream that I'm following up. I know my vehicle's up there. So what I would do, I have my SOL heat sheet. The nice thing about the SOL heat sheets instead of Mylar is that you can use these over and over and over. I have one in a pack that I've been using for over 2 years. Multiple shelters and multiple beds. It's one that I actually poked a hole in for a video I did, comparing it to the Mylar blankets. And the hole has never gotten any bigger. This stuff is strong. is very, very tear resistant. You can, now if I was doing that with mylar, it would immediately rip holes and start tearing. This stuff is strong. And I don't know if I can get that back in the pouch now, but we're going to try. I think they must have some kind of a machine fold these. So what I would do, I would make sure that this bed of pine needles is at least a foot thick underneath me, probably closer to 1.5 feet, with big piles on the sides. Then I would wrap up in this now very awkwardly, sloppily folded SOL heat sheet to insulate my body, and then take the gobs of pine needles that are on the sides and pull them up over me. So I would be plenty warm. I've used bare bed before out here. As long as you've got a thick layer underneath you, and it's only going to get down. I mean, it'd get cold enough to where I would get chilled and be shivering tonight, that's for sure. But it's not going to get so cold to where this blanket and a layer of pine needles thrown up over the top of me wouldn't keep me nice and warm all night. I'd have plenty of water, so I'd be hydrated, so I wouldn't lose body heat from being dehydrated. And I have cordage. That was one of my items. If you watch that video, I've got bank line. So in the event that some kind of rain or something came, I could lean a pole up right over the top, maybe diagonal, and put some boughs over it, and the overhead coverage along with some cut boughs leaned up on that. Being under the blanket, under the pine needles, I'd stay warm, I'd stay dry. So anyway, guys, in the event that I had to stay the night, that was my plan. And I have my little headlamp I showed as an emergency strobe. If I heard my partner out here looking for me, hollering, whistling, making any kind of noise, or a light flashing, I'd get my strobe going, and there was a little whistle on that headlamp. Blow my whistle, flash my strobe light, let them know, hey, I'm right over here. Come hang out with me until morning. All right, guys, I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna just keep following this stream uphill until I find something that looks like either my vehicle or a dirt road that my vehicle is on. All right, guys, I found a trail pretty heavily used, paralleling the stream. And it's much, much easier walking up here. I can't tell you how many banks I've had to climb up and down today. How many logs I've had to climb over. And how many branches I've had to go through. I was looking at my arms. But I'll show you this trail I'm following. So look at that. There's a lot of cow dung along this trail. The ranchers have turned the cattle loose out here. I want to show you guys this real quick. This is yarrow. And it's a medicinal plant. And basically, if I were to have cut myself, I could chew some of this up, get it all moist and wet. It's good for toothaches too. So if I had a toothache, my gums were hurting or something, I put that on there. It's actually going to help get rid of the pain. But I could chew this up, make it into a little poultice. Maybe I cut my arm, chew up some of these leaves, and take my bandana. Naturally, I lost it. Let's just try that again. Get these leaves moist and chewed up. Make a little poultice. Put that on my cut. put my bandana around, and then with a little bit of work, it's awkward, but it can be done, tie my bandana over that, and that would just help take care of it until I got down to my vehicle where there's first aid. And I've got water with me to clean it out too. If there was dirt or something there, I could clean it out, put some of this yarrow on there, and then cover it that way. Right now, my bandana's still keeping me cool. All right, back onto the trail. Bring you guys back. I'm still chewing the pine needles again. I like that flavor and that constant moisture, even though I got water. There is a little energy value. And as I said, I researched this. You can research benefits of pine needles on Google. And it has something in it that increases awareness and focus. Not a bad thing to have. So this trail's heading out into another opening. And I don't want to, but I got no choice if I'm going to keep following this trail. It's about 50 yards from the creek. It's just a lot easier walking. I'm not climbing through brush and over logs and up and down banks and around obstacles. So if I'm going to keep following this trail, I got to go out into the sun. Whew. It's hot. It's hot, but again, I'm well hydrated. Plenty of water. And surprisingly, this wet kerchief around my neck, or bandana actually, I keep soaking that. And that is really making a difference in keeping me cool. Look what I found, guys. I've been following that stream bed. And there it is. Right up there. On the other side of the stream bed, I see the taillights of where we left my vehicle. There's a old dirt turnout off the main road. I still got water along the way in places, pools of water in between dry spots in the creek where it's dried up. Oh, I made it, guys. That was a cool challenge. This, you know, like I said, I started out with absolutely no water. I have no way to contact outside help. My vehicle is hours away. Yeah, quite a few hours away. And I had never ever been into that canyon before. I was just following, we'll call it survival logic. The water to that canyon, or dry stream bed, had to flow downhill and eventually come into this creek, which I knew either up or downstream sometime today or tomorrow, if I would have had to stay the night, my vehicle would be there. So right over there. Can you see that? Yep. Oh, what a beautiful sight. I have a way home. Nice. Look at that. Look at that. Oh, what a beautiful sight. And I don't recommend anybody going out and doing what I've done. You know, and I did have a safety line, we'll call it a lifeline. I had a person who knew my route. They'll be meeting me down here at my vehicle sometime before dark. And if I would not be there, they would know my route. If worst case scenario, they could get search and rescue to start following that canyon down. And prayerfully, they would have found me and got me out had something got wrong. So I wasn't without a lifeline. But still, when you're out here, I'm not recommending anybody do what I did. This is me doing my thing. I like to test myself. I like the challenge. I come out here in the middle of a winter storm. I get shelter. I have a fire. I may or may not make it home because the snow's heavy enough that I just might be stuck there for a little while. But it's what I do, and it's what I've been doing for years. So I hope you guys enjoyed this adventure with me. When fire season's over, I hope to do some where I can stay out overnight and get fire going and film some of that for you guys. I need to give a special shout out to Nika at Nika Motorcycles and Meditation. She is my partner in helping me today, the one that's dropped me off and coming back to make sure that I'm alive. She has a YouTube channel, Nika's Motorcycle and Meditation, and I will put that name in the description. Check her channel out, guys. Subscribe to it. She does some awesome videos out, you know, journeying in the backcountry and some motorcycle adventures. Pretty cool stuff. Thanks for watching Ochiko Bushcraft. I hope you guys enjoyed this 2-part journey with me. Take care, everyone, and stay safe out there.